told the fathers to step forward and help in teaching these babies, toddlers, boys and girls, teenagers and young adults, as well as other adults and old age pensioners or OAPs, how to sprint supremely swiftly. So I've discovered how to sprint supremely swiftly, and the quickest way we can teach everyone at the same time is if all the fathers step forward, and the mothers too, if they step forward and learn, if they step forward so as to be able to learn how to achieve supreme speed, supreme sprinting speed from a team that I'm going to be putting together and instructing on how to instruct you, how to teach you the optimal methodology for humans achieving our biomechanically, biophysiomechanically intended head speed or sprinting capability as a species of bipedal quadrupeds in this here animal kingdom on this planet of Earthkind. I discovered how to sprint supremely swiftly shortly after the Olympics in Beijing in 2008 when Usain Bolt ran the new world record at that time and started celebrating about 4 or 5 meters out, to the dismay of many a spectator and commentator. Everyone wondered what would have happened if he had run all the way through, and had he run all the way through to the finish line. We wouldn't be sitting here today talking about this particular development in the improvement of human speed. Perhaps we may have been, but just under different circumstances or with a different arrival sequence to this point, is what I'm trying to say. And because the young Usain Bolt celebrated as he did, we are all here today via avenue of delivery to share in this knowledge of how we can all achieve our optimal sprinting speed. Because a young Usain Bolt took the liberty of celebrating his pride in achievement of athletic excellence on that fateful day, I was able to figure out what was going on and how he managed to run so fast, especially given his quote-unquote unathletic build at that time. He was too tall and lanky, so to speak, given the Maurice Greens, Carl Lewis's, Michael Johnson's, and other sprinters of prior repute since the days of Jesse Owens. He was Jamaican. Wait a minute, Jamaicans even have an athletics team? I mean, it was that type of rude awakening for most of the global athletics audience, or shall I say periodic athletics audience. Only at Olympics do people really pay attention to athletics. Even all this Diamond League nonsense isn't really paid attention to unless something extraordinary occurs at one of those meetings. Otherwise, it's just the algorithmically athletic that get delivered these athletics news items as they occur. For most, it's things that they'll learn at a later date, like now perhaps. So anyway, the sprinting methodology was only made possible by the fact that Usain Bolt celebrated his victory prior to achieving the story could have been bigger is if he had tripped or something. And then not one. If he had tripped as soon as he started celebrating, or just before the finish line, allowing someone else to take the number 1 position or the gold medal, which realistically may have been another Jamaican, I'm not sure who was second, but yeah, it's a firm possibility. Why am I saying all this nonsense? Why did Usain Bolt celebrating before he finished? Why was that so important to the development of this supreme sprinting methodology, supreme speed sprinting methodology? Well, firstly, because the story stayed in the news cycle a lot longer than it would have had he not celebrated. If people remember correctly, there was a big media storm about whether it was disrespectful and sportsmanlike and all this other nonsense. And we discussed this at length in the Caribbean bars, the barber shops, at the basketball courts, on Twitter, if it was around. Probably, I mean, I didn't do Twitter then, but I'm assuming that if Twitter had been around, there would have been some discussion on that platform about that 100-meter final. You know, I say all this to say that the attention that celebration drew made me watch that race over and over again on different platforms, and particularly in the streets. Hello? Yes, anyway, as I was reviewing that race, something clicked and suddenly hit me. I've seen this style of running before, this running rhythm before, and I noticed how he was doing it. I noticed how he was managing to sprint so much faster than everyone else, especially given his build. Because I recognized that sprint style from my uncle, my dearly departed uncle, who also ran in exactly the same way, but was much shorter, yet being also supremely fast. My uncle was shorter than me. He was probably like 179, 178-ish, 177 minimum. 1.79 meters, and he was fast. I mean, he was like the fastest schoolboy in the province. He was running for the province and competing on the national level. My dad even managed to get him a sports scholarship to one of the top government high schools at that time, where he would have certainly gone on to compete at even higher levels. But he made youthful choices and didn't take up that offer and chose to do something else instead. Anyway, be that as it may, he was insanely quick, and he ran exactly in the same way. One day we had tried to run away from him, and he started running, and the way that he was running was so athletically, so apex alpha athletic, that we decided not to run. It was discouraging. Like, the amount of velocity that he was generating was discouraging, and that memory stayed with me. And at that precise moment when I suddenly realized it's like I got the instruction of how to acquire such velocity generational propensities of apex alpha athletic capabilities or aptitude, and it all clicked, and I knew that this was replicable and instructable. This was not only possible, but it was replicable and instructable. It was like a sudden moment of artistic, athletic, creativity, spiritual enlightenment, and quantum leap of understanding, feeling and sentiment accentuating the sensation of the rhythmically turbulent violence of supreme speed. And I knew how I'd always run like a toy in comparison to how I was really supposed to be running. And immediately I realized exactly how much athletic avenue I'd missed out on, and knew I wanted to teach this methodology to other people so they wouldn't miss out on their own athletic, alpha athletic, apex, alpha athletic adventures. That's why today I'm calling upon all mothers and fathers to step forward so we can start teaching the kids how to sprint supremely, swiftly, and all other people that care to listen and wish to learn. Need I say more? Mondo Raw. Please register your interest via email address tereva10@gmx.com. That's TEREVA10@gmx.com. Alternatively, you can reach out via direct message on Instagram handle at Tereva1010. That's at TEREVA1010. Asante sana and Amini MiPango ya MUNGU. Asante sana and Amini MiPango ya MUNGU. Yo, it's deep and it's peak. Let the ancestors or Tema speak. It's deep and it's peak. Let the apex alpha athletic ancestors of the universe speak. Same thing in it. Blick power. Same thing in it. Blick power. BLEK. Acronym for Be Life Elevation Knowledge. In this particular instance, that being Be Life Elevation Knowledge specifically refers to baller life. This apex alpha athletic knowledge, or the apex AAAK, will elevate absolutely every type of baller's life, from footballers to basketballers to all sporting disciplines where speed of leg and arm movement is centrally crucial to achieving success or excellence in the sporting fixtures, matches and contests of that very same sporting discipline. Dano Mondo Raw